Ameen. By the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you've been listening to our wonderful teacher going through and summarizing about establishing prayer, and also with the Ustaz Shah Alam, you've been going through about the Lataif cleansing and process in which how you can actually help and facilitate for the spirit to really travel and then venture into these worlds where really you can attain yaqeen and khushu and khudu and all these things through journeying your spirit through the different realms that we will tell you, different maqamas and stations, which inshallah these tomorrow you'll be enlightened, or today should I say, later on you'll be enlightened further. Really one of the most important topics which our beloved teacher mentioned earlier is about establishing Salah. Now, as I realize, I have probably got about half an hour or so for actually to get through this, because I need you to all to have some sufficient rest. So I may not finish this completely. So whatever point I get to by 12 inshallah, that's where we'll cut off, because I can see you're already dozing off, and I don't want you to do that. So we will have to change our stance a little bit. So I'm going to ask some questions to you now. First of all, is that whenever you're late, say for example, you know, sometimes you're late or you've seen your friend, you've got Hamza there. So you've seen Hamza, maybe the time's going, passing by, he's not offered his prayer. What are you going to ask him? Hamza, what question are you going to ask him about prayer? Or have you not prayed? Let's say for example he's just come back from work, you don't know whether he's prayed or not, so what are you going to ask? Have you prayed? Okay, have you prayed? What does that mean? Have you prayed? Arbas, what does that mean? Have you prayed your namaz? Yeah, have you prayed your namaz? Again, tell me what it means. Brother, what does it mean? Have you prayed your namaz? You're awake now, aren't you? Yeah? That's good.
Yeah, I would say only when people ask you, hey, to hit the qibla, have you done the actions?
Yeah.
That's what people normally mean, that have you done the actions. When you ask the kids, have you done it? Kids are just open and it's just action.
Yeah, so basically is that people are offering the ruku, sujood, have you prayed? That's what do we mean by have you prayed? Brother Teek, what do we mean have you prayed? Have you offered your prayer, have you prayed? What do we mean? I'm trying to get a point here. What I'm trying to say, there's a mindset that me and you have built. There's a mindset that myself, yourself, our parents and everybody have been building in us. And there is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. So I need you to get to this. What do we mean when we say have you prayed? Have you offered the salah? Okay, what does it mean have you offered your salah? You know, go on, Rafi. No, I just need you to tell me what we mean by this when we say have you prayed.
Just ritualistic movements.
Okay, ritualistic movement, that's what we're saying. Go on, Rajasthan. Have you, yeah. Have you offered the hukum of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to pray? Have you executed the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Isn't it? That's what we're all saying, is that have you prayed? There's a hukum of Allah, He's saying prayer, and have you prayed? That's our concern. Bilkul 100%, 99.9%, 100%, all of us will be thinking this 100% is that whenever somebody is late, salah time is going past, and you see your brother, you see your sister, you see your mum, you see your dad, you see somebody, just a reminder, have you prayed? Have you offered your salah? The word that we're using, if we translate it, prayed, or if you say offered, is qadait. So have you offered your prayer? But that's not the word that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using when He ever refers to salah. Alif Lam Mim dhalika kitabu la rayba fihi hudal lil muttaqin alladhina yu'minuna bil ghaibi wa yuqimuna as-salah. Aqimis salah. Alladhina aqimis salata wa atuz zakah. Every single time, most of the time, you'll see that when salah is mentioned, the word Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using is not have you offered prayer. oh people offer prayer, oh people offer prayer. No. The word Allah SWT is using is aqim as-salah, is establish, qiyam, establish the prayer. Now that's a different thing altogether, isn't it? Me and you have been thinking, we've been putting our head, offer your prayer, offer, have you prayed, have you prayed? Allah SWT is saying, establish the prayer. Farq kya hai? What's the difference? That is what we're going to be discussing then. Is that learning the difference, because if me and you are not understanding, if mind and your mindset is complete like this, is that all we are concerned about is this ritualistic bowing and sitting, like the brother is saying, ruku, sajda. Some of you may be doing the sajda properly, some of you may not be doing it properly, doing it as fast as possible, slow as possible. If this was the purpose of the prayer, then why are we in the position that we're in? If you heard is that if we really understood what Salah meant for us, if we really understood what Salah is that the state that we, the Muslim, the whole Muslim are in, would not be in this state if we really offered the prayer and established the prayer that Allah is saying. Like Hajj Ramzan Sahib actually asked a question earlier on. And was it always like this? And it's just something that we have over the years, through the generations, we are losing touch. We are going away from the reality of what prayer was supposed to be. Now let me ask, I haven't even touched this over. Now, no, there is no, youngsters do not take any criticism, there's no criticizing anything. But I'm just going to ask a question to you brothers, for you brothers. After, in every fard prayer that we offer here, as a question, please do not take this as a criticism, don't take it as anything. It's just for me and you to understand, to actually realize something. As soon as the fard is finished, what goes through your head? What goes through your head? So, Brother Hassan, what goes through your head? Hussein, sorry. Main bit's done, fard is done. And that is what we feel, isn't it? Fard is done. And what we're doing, we'll go in the corner, crying in the corner, maybe start talking, and there are babas who are doing the sunnat. That's what we're thinking. Oh, the babas are doing sunnat. Oh, but the farz is done, alhamdulillah. We're so chuffed, we're giving pats on the back, well done, giving fives, yeah, well done, we've done the farz, mashallah, that's good. And we're all chuffed and we're all excited and we're all happy the farz is done, mashallah, mashallah. And we're all talking away. Why are these babas? What are they doing? They're doing the sunnah, and then the nafal, and they're doing something. What are they doing? Why is the elders and other brothers who are doing the sunnah after it, the witr after it, the others, and me and you, I think this is it. Why is this then? What do you think this is? What is it that you've understood, and what is it that they've understood? As a chore. But Waqas, what do you think? It's like a story? Shortcut. There we go, shortcut. Beautiful what you just said. Is that we see Salah, why we say it's a shortcut? Why? Is because we see Salah as a burden. Isn't it reality? If I didn't have the Salah, I could have gone here, I could have gone there. If I didn't have the Salah, I could have been here, I could have been there. If I didn't have Salah, I could have been watching this, I could have been watching that. Isn't it? But Salah's come in. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the nafs is saying now, me and you're thinking, what's the quickest way? The hukum of Allah, yes, I fear Allah, I want to offer the hukum. Like we say, hukum of Allah, I want to execute that. Yes, I don't want to be sinful, and I want to make sure that I do it. So what's the minimum? What is the minimum that I can do? The fard. Yes, brilliant. Here we're all become muftis here. Minimum is fard and that's it. We're all muftis. We say that's it. We do the fard. Well done, mashallah. Pat on the back. There you go. Well done. Congratulations. We've offered Salah. Isn't it? If that's the case, then why is my life the way it is? Because Salah, as you know, as you heard from our beloved teacher, is that they said that the summary of the deen can be found if a person really established and understood Salah. Is the whole summary of the deen can be found in Salah. And me and you are saying, I want my deen, I want to grow my deen, I want to develop my iman, I want to develop my yaqeen, I want to develop my steadfastness. If we understood Salah, if we understood this, really understand how to establish it, then the whole of the deen will probably come into us if we properly offer the salah the way it is. It's because me and you are trying to find shortcuts, exactly how Brother Waqas is saying, that trying to find shortcuts, execute the command as quickly as possible, relieve ourselves of that duty, of that burden, and get away as quickly as possible from it to go back to our thing. Whereas the awliya Allah, the prophets and the messengers, the awliya and salihin, and our honorable elders here, they've understood is that this is a gift for me, this is a mercy for me, this is a salvation for me, this is a route where I can meet my beloved, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a chance for me to meet the King of the worlds. This is a chance for me to express all my problems, all my needs, all my wants. There are people here, brothers here, sisters here who are listening, and they will say all they want is somebody to listen to them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Samir, He's Basir. He is the one who's listening, He's the one who hears. I can now fully, my heart, my mind, my everything, converse and give everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that moment. And the point in which I can come the most closest than any other ibadah is in sajda. That is the point which I can now, whatever problem I'm going through, whatever anxiety I'm going through, whatever needs I have, whatever issues that I have, at that point, at that moment, I can get that bliss and tranquility for the moment I'm in sajda, because I am the most closest to Allah on that point. All my problems can go away, all my problems can vanish away, because why? I am so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that point. If we really felt that, if we really had that mentality, we would not be running away. We will not be wanting shortcuts. We will not be wanting to see it as a burden. Rather, we'll be knocking on the door saying, open the masjid quickly. I want to go inside and offer my prayer. I want to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to have a meeting with Him. I want to actually be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be in His presence. Now, what we're going to do now is understand what is the difference between offering salah and establishing salah. Me and you want steadfastness in deen. Me and you want, I'm looking at the time and say, but I'm doing my best and say, I'll try my best. Me and you want to finish all our problems, resolve all our issues. But how can we do that? Is that through salah, Allah is telling you a message. Allah is telling you how to actually bring everything together in your life, so that the salah is like the practice run for you, a simulation of your life for that 5 minutes, for that 10 minutes, for that 15, for that 20. It's a simulation of how you should respond and how you should behave, so that as soon as you leave the prayer, that effect, that lesson, that message that Allah is giving you through the salah, you can now maintain this throughout. So let's look at what is establishing prayer. Are you all with me so far? So we'll skip to this bit. Now, this is an important point. Those people who are regular in the prayer, this is for everybody. Don't be so judgmental and thinking, yes, alhamdulillah, if you're 5-time namazi and you're offering your prayer with regularity, if you have the meaning that I have established prayer with the meaning that I am just offering my prayer regularly, and I go to the Jamaat 5-time namaz I'm doing regularly in Jamaat or at home, the question that you should be asking is that if that's the case, for example, all those people who are saying we're worshipping, we're praying 5 times, that these brothers are sinful, they are druggists, they're alcoholics, and they're the ones who are causing the problem. Me, I'm a good person, I'm a pious person, I offer 5-time prayers. Okay, Chalo, alhamdulillah, we can accept that to a certain extent. But ask yourself this question: is the prayer stopping me from evil and helping me to do good? Is my connection with Allah Azza wa Jal strong and withstanding? No matter what comes, my relationship is still intact. Do I have khushu and khudu in my prayer? Do I feel as though I've met Allah, the Lord of the worlds, in my prayer? Or is it just this ritualistic thing like the hukum of Allah, I've just gone, I was really completely absent, but I've done my ruku, I've done my sujood, and I'm happy that I've executed this, and that's it, I leave. But for example, it's like there's no similitude we can use to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just so they can understand. Imagine Hazrat Sahib is here in the room, sat here. Imagine they're here. There's the door, you come into the door, they're completely here. You're in the door, you come into the room, you don't say salam, all you do your job, you don't even realize they're even there, you don't even realize they're present. All you're doing is just offer, let's say for example, you sit there and you think as though they're completely non-existent, they're not even there, even though they're in front of you. And then you get up, say, oh, my 5 minutes up, I'm going, that's it, bye-bye. How do you think they would feel? How do you think they would feel? Brother, I think, how would they feel? Do you think this is good adab? That they're in front of you, they're sat there, you come in, but you completely, you know how people, our youngsters, you'll understand, the word I think you use is called blank. Oh, he blanked me, oh my gosh, oh no, that is so bad, that is so bad, he blanked me here, okay? So he completely, in other words, in our, I don't know, this is your lingo, and I think is that he blanked me, in other words, he completely ignored me, and he's done my best to hear. How could he do that? And you become so angry. Why? Because he ignored you. Okay, that's a friend, maybe he just ignored you, and then you might not talk to each other because he blanked you. That's it, I'm not going to talk to him as well. Now imagine your teacher sat here, they've sat here physically, and they see you coming in. All you do is just sit there, don't even look at them, don't say anything to them, don't give salam, and after 5 minutes you just get up and that's it, you leave. At least courtesy will demand that you come forward, give your salam, or at least give salam. Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. How are you? If that's the case, if there's anything you to ask, but at least salam kam kare. Give salam at least. Appreciate that they're there. Maybe ask for dua from them, ask for prayers from them, and then with their permission, as if you give ijazat, then leave. Isn't that a better etiquette? You said that we have no similitude to Allah. This is just a relation between a teacher and a student. What to say between the creation and the creator, the one who gave us existence. How bad is it that we come and he's calling us to his presence, to his court, and we enter and we feel as though that we've not even met him, not even praised him, not even thanked him, not even actually be grateful for it, not even sought any blessings from him, nothing whatsoever. We come and we leave and that's it. How do you think Rabbul Alameen will feel? That this is my saint, I gave him existence, I gave him life, I've given him this, I've given him this, I provide for him, I'm doing this, and he doesn't even acknowledge that I am even present with him. How do you think they will feel? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will feel towards us. This is prayer. So how can we establish it? The reality of Salah is that it's a training of how to drive your life, how to live your life, how to navigate and reach a destination. Salah is a guide to how to live in life. It wasn't supposed to be a ritual you only do in mosques, you only do your homes. It's not a ritualistic thing. If we analyze the different postures in prayer, it is reminding me and you what we should be doing outside of prayer and throughout our life. You know, the takbir, intention, takbir, facing qibla, every single one of those postures is telling you to do something outside. This is the little training ground you're in now for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Now what you have to do, what do you think Allah says that come train, remind yourself of this in 5-10 minutes so that the remaining hours are going to be there. You can now, it will help you throughout how to live your life, how to achieve your purpose. Intention, niyyah, that's how we start with. Intention. We begin the salah with intention, with niyyah, and doing so for the pleasure of Allah. Likewise, in salah, the salah is telling you that whatever you do, whatever good deeds that you do, make intention that you're doing it for the sake of Allah, for His pleasure. That's the very first thing. Whatever good you're doing, you're going doing charity work, here you go, do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're doing helping somebody, do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're giving some, you are actually doing some khidmah, do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are giving somebody a lift, do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're helping with the housework, do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're doing tilawat al-Quran, do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salah is telling by intention. It's just in the Hanafi fiqh, it's not the fard, but in other madhab, Imam Shafi'i, intention is fard. So here is that intention is integral, is one of the, it's so important that you make intention. I'm not saying it's a fard, but you need intention. The intention is like the map, the guiding point in which you're doing it for. Otherwise your deeds will go in vain. If you're doing it for salah because people think I'm a buzurg, your deeds is in vain. If you're doing salah because people think you're pious, your deeds in vain. Throw it away. If you're doing salah so that people say, Baba, mashallah, he's a good lad, you're doing it in vain. You don't do it for anybody else apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His pleasure. You're not doing it for show, you're not doing it for name, you're not doing it for anything, purely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Facing the qibla. So now we made the intention, now we're facing the qibla. What does that mean? Our face, our bodies, everything facing. That's why whenever you hear the Imam say, make sure that everybody is what? Safa straight, they're facing the qibla, direction of Kaaba. In other words, what is the salah time? You need to make sure you have an aim, an objective in life. What is your direction? What is your drive in life? What is your direction in life? What is your aim? Here in salah, we have to face the qibla. If our direction is to the east or the west, salah is batil, finished. If your chest moves away from the qibla, khalas. If your chest just moves away from the qibla, your namaz is invalid. Look how strict it is. Salah is telling us is that don't divert, your purpose, your maqsad in life, what it should be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His pleasure. That is my direction in my life. Akhir is my direction. Jannah is my direction. His pleasure is my direction. Following His command, obedience to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and His command in Sunnah, that is my objective. That is my drive. That is my aim. If you now deviate from that and go slightly away, that is when your life is like it's batil as well. Futile. Following this, following that, following him, following her, following this fame, what is that? It's going to be in vain. It's going to be just like salah breaks, your life will break as well. So here we make many directions in life. We make money, objective, what? Some of us maybe got a job, we have a job. No, one job is enough. We get second job or a third job. We are 24 hours working. People in taxi, they don't work just 10 hours or 12 hours. Some people are working 16, 18, 20 hours. Why? Money is the objective. I got to pay the bills. I got to pay the mortgage. They have made a certain amount of criteria. They've taken upon themselves that this is my target. This is my aim. I want to make this. I must get this. Otherwise, they're a failure. I'm not saying this is wrong. I'm not saying it's incorrect. This shouldn't be your primary objective in life. Money, wealth, fame, name, power, position. I know many people, they are in one job and they go from one job to another job and they don't feel happy until they get to the reach. They become a CEO or a manager or executive. That is their aim. If you're a factory worker, from a normal worker working on the factory floor, you want to become the supervisor to the manager. That's what you're aiming. Everybody's after that. If you are a normal, for example, you're in the field of actually, if you have a skill, you're a footballer or you're a boxer or you're whatever skill, you're a footballer, you play for the lower leagues, you want to aim higher and you go to the higher leagues. Everybody's aiming for that. What we're saying is that money is not the primary objective, fame is not the primary objective, wealth is not the primary objective, power, position, none of that. But it should be, what should be our primary objective? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The purpose of our life is achieve Allah's rida. That is what facing the qibla, reminding me and you, listen, we're all standing up, we're facing the qibla. Allah is automatically telling you your life should have a direction. The direction should be me, my rida. Our life should be, that will be our primary goal. That should be the primary purpose, is that my purpose in life is to achieve His rida. Now what we're doing is that we are busy, we're giving primary objective money, primary objective women, primary objective this desire, primary objective power, position, this status, that status. Even within the families, we're competing with who's got a bigger mansion, who's got a bigger kutia, who's got a bigger house, who's got a bigger car, better car. That's what we're doing amongst families. Izzat is their better status. Why? They look at it. Their son has got this job. They got this position. They have got this car, this house. That's izzat for them. They think this is izzat. This is status. Son, what are you doing? You could also do that. Now they're in the competition of the Jones. This is what they're competing. That is not what Allah SWT is telling me and you. What is our direction? If doing all of that and you've lost the direction, you're completely lost and broken. So raising our hands. So now we've done the niyyah, facing the qibla, raising our hands to say Allahu Akbar. What is that telling me? So what happens is that Allah never do this to us, but you've seen in real life as well as in the movies where the police comes and says, freeze, raise your hands. What do we do? Put your hands up. What does that mean? I've raised my hands up. Whoa, don't shoot. They may. Luckily, we know in America we should be fine. But raise your hands. What does that mean? What is that thing? It's telling you to do what? You're surrendering. You surrender. I give up. I surrender. Yes, I surrender. You raise your hands in Salah. Raising the hands to say Allahu Akbar is imitating, telling you what? You surrender to whom? Allah SWT, who is the greatest of all. You submit to Him. The moment you say Allahu Akbar, the takbir, you should think that everything is stopped now. So you made the intention. Now my direction in life is Allah SWT and His pleasure and His purpose. Now what is it? Allahu Akbar. At this moment, at this time has stopped. Everything is stopped. Job has stopped. Family is stopped. Business is stopped. Everything is stopped now. There's nothing greater than Allah SWT. I'm just with Him. Your family, your business, your food, your comfort, everything is stopped. Allah is greater now. Now I'm going to face Allah SWT, Lord of the worlds. He is the greatest. That is what Salah is saying when you say Takbir Tahreem, when you say Allahu Akbar, is that I'm meeting the greatest of all. Everything else finished. I submit and I surrender. I've surrendered the dunya. I've surrendered my family. I've surrendered my business. They are nothing in comparison to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the world. Raising hands, facing the Kaaba, saying Allahu Akbar. When you go away from the Salah, what is it telling you? When you leave the Salah, you should start to see Allah is greater. Thus, what in the scenario? What you do now after you leave the prayer, we just got to this point, is after you leave the prayer, is now what you do is that prove now that Allah is the greatest. You've made intent, you said direction, my purpose of Allah SWT is rida. I'm going to do everything for the sake of Allah SWT. And I'm saying Allah is the greatest and submit to Him. That's all we've done so far, isn't it? All we've done so far. Now after Salah, when we leave the Salah, now you have to prove it. You have to prove it that Allah SWT is the greatest in every salah that you do. That when there's a hukum of Allah, He is greater, His command is greater, I give up my desire, my wants. And I make sure that Allah SWT's command is actually elevated. When there is friends and they're telling you to commit sin, you say, no, you are not greater, Allah SWT is greater. I submit to Allah SWT, not you, my friends. When there's a girl, she's inviting you towards sin, you say, no, sister, Allah SWT is greater. I am now going to prove that Allah SWT is the greatest. I've said Allahu Akbar in my prayer. I'm reminding myself that Allah is my direction, my everything, my want and desire. He is the one that I want. So you say goodbye to the sister. Business is interfering you with your prayer. Allah is greater. You now have to demonstrate and prove that in every scenario. That is how you're going to have Salah being established in your prayer. Do we have time for one more, or do you want to stop here? I have Ahl Amin and Ahl Yasir, so brothers on the right and the brothers on the left. Or should I say youngsters on the right and elders on the left? What do I do? Which one do I have?
10 minutes.
5. Continue, are you sure?
Yeah,
Yes,
yes.
because you are dozing off. I can see youngsters are quite awake, but I'm more concerned about the elders, really.
Who are the elders?
So,
There's
no,
elders here.
they're at the back. They're at the back, not here. They're at the back. The elders, the bazooka over there. Not you, brothers. No, you, not yourselves. I'm also young as well. Hands are held tightly. Now, what we've done is that we've done the niyyah. We've said facing the qibla, saying Allahu Akbar. Now we're going to tie our hands. In Salah, we're going to tie our hands, wrapping our hands, holding them tightly above, below the waist, below the belly button. What is it telling you? So when we tied our hands, what's happened? We've literally tied it. We can't move our hands here. Say, Assalamu alaikum. We can't say, hi Bashir, how are you? Okay, you can't do that, can you? You can't punch somebody, can you? Even though they're irritating you, they may be thinking, you can't do that, can you? I know some of you, when you're young, you were doing that, but not anymore. But you can't do that. You can't punch. You can't wave. You can't start fidgeting your hands over here, there, etc. You can't do anything, can you? Because Salah is telling me and you, just as you gripped and put it under control and restraint, you put under restraint and it's actually in a position there, it can't move about. So what is Salah telling me and you is that your hands shouldn't do anything against the command of Allah. No fraudulent activities, no pointing fingers, and making false accusation others. In other words, keep your hands under control. Don't let them do any evil with this hand. Don't point fingers, don't accuse somebody, don't do this with your hands. Keep it under control. Don't sign anything that you're supposed to sign. You're not supposed to sign. Feet are facing towards the qibla. They're not east and west, they're facing towards the qibla. What is that telling me and you? They're not facing, they're not allowed to step. Imagine the feet is such that it has to be behind the feet of the imam. If your feet goes ahead of the feet of the imam, your salah is invalid. It breaks. So there's a boundary set. The feet has to have some boundaries set. So otherwise your salah becomes null and void. So here the feet facing qibla, and what is it telling me? That strive towards good deeds, go towards good places, but there are boundaries that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set. Don't go beyond those boundaries. Don't step outside those boundaries. You know, you see no entry and you set a line, no entry, any trespassers will be prosecuted. See that this is like the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He set boundaries up. Don't go beyond this, otherwise you will be prosecuted. Sins will be put laid upon you. This is the boundary Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Don't go beyond this boundary. Control the feet. Now, you could want to if you want. I don't know if it might be strange. Youngsters will do that when they're babies. They'll do that. But have you seen anybody stepping in front of the imam saying, "I feel like just going forward now"? No, you're restraining yourself. You're stopping yourself. You're making sure that your feet doesn't actually go ahead. So, in other words, you are now striving, making sure that you don't step outside of these boundaries that Allah has set. And that is where your salvation will lie. Keeping within the boundaries set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because if you break those boundaries, it's not that you break the boundaries, you've broken it and you've done a good job. No. You'll be as though that you will be broken and you will be despaired. You're in despair. That is what you're going to find. So, hands tied, no fraudulent activities and nothing against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Feet facing the qibla, go to good places, keep within the boundaries hudud that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set. Eyes gazing on the floor, place of sajda, listening, and the ears listen to the recitation. So you keep your eyes on the Kaaba and you look in the place of prostration, ears and listen to the recitation and the call. Your eyes are looking at the place of prostration. Even though the mosque may look beautiful, like this beautiful mosque here, this zawiyah here, it may look beautiful, but you're not allowed to say, "Oh wow, this is a beautiful frame there. That's a beautiful picture there. Oh, that is also very nice." If somebody did this in prayer, what do you think? What's going on? Is he praying? What is he doing? We don't do that, do we? So we make sure our eyes are fixed, our gazes are fixed towards the floor. Sorry, it's very delicate, this one, isn't it? Gaze are fixed on the floor, and you're not allowed to look haphazardly here, there, and everywhere. You're not allowed to do that. So, what is the salah telling me is that outside of prayer, what should you be doing? Your gazes don't look haphazardly toward these worldly matters and worldly materials. keeping your eyes under control. Keep them, the mahram may be there, keep your eyes under control. Yes, maybe it's a Lamborghini, but you don't need to look really. Keep your eyes under control. The beauty, because this is it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing. The beauty of the dunya is going to be mesmerizing. It's going to dazzle you with the beauty. And what you have to do is now keeping the eyes under control so that you don't fall prey to that. So keep your aim focused towards your goal, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His rida, by submitting towards Him. Lower your gaze. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, lower your gazes. When you're outside, lower your gazes, keep them down. Just like in Salah, your eyes are down, walk like that. Go towards your job, go towards your college, your university, have your gazes lowered. You don't need to look at the billboard, you don't need to look at anything unless you need to. If there's a thing where you have to actually pass by somebody, that's fine. But isn't it, I'm sure you've seen this. Have you not seen those people, even if they're non-Muslims? Have you not seen it, how wonderful it looks when they have their eyes lowered and they're walking? Even if a non-Muslim is actually walking like this, I have seen even non-Muslims, they've got their eyes lowered. That humility, the effect of that humility it has when they have their eyes lowered, it has effect on you, it has athar on you. So that's how we should be walking on the earth, with humility. And having the eyes lowered is showing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is seeing me, is hearing me, is with me. My eyes are lowered. Okay? And at this point, inshallah, I shall stop because I have too many people closing their eyes. I do apologize, it is there. So inshallah, maybe another time. So now what we've done is that, see how the salah, we've got to the point of lowering your gazes. We've got to this point here. So there are other points that inshallah maybe tomorrow we'll go through the other points as well. But you have now learned how salah is instructing me, you're telling you how we can establish it into our life out of the salah, so that when you if you're in salah, you're doing this, it means that out of salah you should be practicing this for as long as possible. Keep on practicing, eventually that will become established. So how you establishing, then when you come for prayer, it's just a reminder that you are already like this, keep on like this. Inshallah Aziz. Okay? So we'll stop here, inshallah Aziz.
Jazakallah, Imam Qais. Obviously a beautiful and very powerful subject which doesn't do justice in doing it in half an hour. But inshallah, may Allah give us the tawfiq to be able to practice what we have learned today. We break